Hi, I'm Dr. Julian Vance, and I want to welcome you to a journey that will change the way you think, act, and live. This is not just another audiobook. This is a roadmap to unlocking your potential, building unshakable discipline, and becoming the person you've always dreamed of being. Inside these pages, I'll share the secrets of champions, the habits, the mindset, and the strategies that ordinary people use to achieve extraordinary results. You'll learn how to push past fear, stay consistent when motivation fades, turn failure into fuel, and train your mind to perform under pressure. This book isn't about quick fixes or temporary motivation. It's about creating real, lasting change. It's about giving you practical tools you can use every day to strengthen your mind, sharpen your focus, and take control of your life. Every chapter is designed to help you take action, to stop waiting and start doing. I know what it feels like to struggle. I know what it's like to face doubt, distraction, and setbacks. But I've also seen what happens when someone refuses to quit, when they commit to growth, embrace discipline, and push forward no matter what. That is what this audiobook is about. That is what I want for you. So, take a deep breath, open your mind, and prepare yourself. You are about to start a journey that will challenge you, inspire you, and transform you. By the end of this book, you won't just dream about success. You'll be equipped to create it. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The pain that builds you. Pain is not a punishment. It's a message. It tells you that you're growing, changing, and becoming stronger. Most people see pain and run from it. They think pain means stop. But in truth, pain means move forward. It's your body and your mind saying, something powerful is happening here. When you lift weights at the gym, your muscles hurt. That pain isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of progress. Your body breaks tiny fibers so they can rebuild stronger. Life works in the same way. When you go through hard days, when you struggle, when you feel broken, that's your mind and spirit rebuilding in strength. Pain is the price of growth. You cannot become better without going through it. Every person who's achieved something great has faced pain. It could be rejection, failure, heartbreak, or loss. But they all understood one thing. Pain is a teacher, not an enemy. Think of a student studying for hours when everyone else is asleep. Their eyes hurt, their brain feels heavy, but they keep going. That's pain. But when they pass that test, when they reach their goal, that pain turns into pride. The late nights, the tired mornings, they were never wasted. They were investments. The same is true in every area of life. When an athlete trains until their legs burn, that pain is not suffering, it's shaping. When someone works hard for years before their dream comes true, that pain is preparation. Pain is the builder of confidence, focus, and resilience. The truth is, easy things never change you. Comfort keeps you the same. Pain forces you to grow. Every time you face something difficult, you have two choices. Let it break you or let it build you. Growth doesn't come when everything feels good. It comes when you keep going, even when it doesn't. Think of Michael Jordan. When he was young, he was cut from his high school basketball team. It hurt. He could have quit, but he turned that pain into fuel. He practiced harder than ever before. That failure became the fire that built one of the greatest players of all time. The pain gave him purpose. Pain also builds character. It teaches patience, humility, and strength. It reminds you that you're not in control of everything, but you are in control of how you respond. Every time you face something painful and choose to keep moving, you become more powerful than before. Sometimes the pain isn't physical, it's emotional. It's the feeling of trying again after failure. It's losing someone. It's being alone with your thoughts. But that kind of pain teaches the deepest lessons. It teaches you how to trust yourself, how to stay calm, how to believe when no one else does. When you're in pain, it's easy to think it will last forever, but it won't. Pain passes. Growth stays. The pain you feel today will one day be the strength you use tomorrow. You'll look back and realize that every struggle made you wiser, calmer, and tougher. Remember this. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. The pain of doing what's right, of working hard, of facing challenges, it ends. But the pain of giving up, of quitting too soon, stays in your heart for years. So when things get hard, choose the pain that builds you, not the one that breaks you. Think about a seed. Before it grows into a tree, it must be buried underground in the dark. It breaks open before it rises. The process looks painful, but that breaking is where the growth begins. The same happens with you. Sometimes life buries you, not to end you, but to plant you. And soon, you rise stronger than before. The best people you'll ever meet, the calmest, the strongest, the most confident, didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because life was hard, and they didn't run from it. They learned to stay calm in pain. They learned to use it, to listen to it, and to let it change them. You can do the same. When you feel tired, remind yourself that you're building endurance. When you feel lost, remind yourself that you're building direction. When you feel broken, remind yourself that you're building wisdom. Pain has a purpose. You just have to keep walking through it long enough to see it. Next time life hurts, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every time you face pain, it's teaching you how strong you really are. It's showing you parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You're not weak for feeling pain. You're human. But what makes you strong is choosing to rise every time it hurts. Because pain is not meant to stop you. It's meant to shape you into someone who can't be stopped. So embrace it. When it burns, keep going. When it hurts, breathe through it. When you want to quit, remind yourself that the pain is the process. You can't skip it if you want the reward. The pain you feel today is the strength you will feel tomorrow. Every struggle, every tear, every doubt, it's building something inside you that comfort never could. Don't fear the pain. Respect it. Learn from it. Because the truth is, the hardest moments in your life will become the most powerful stories of your growth. Pain is not there to break you. It's there to build you. Chapter 2. Motivation is temporary. Discipline lasts forever. Motivation feels great, doesn't it? It gives you that rush of energy, that fire that makes you say, "I can do this." But let's be honest, it doesn't last. Motivation is like a spark. It burns bright for a moment, and then it fades. Discipline, on the other hand, is the fire that keeps burning even when the spark is gone. Motivation comes and goes with your mood. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days you can barely get out of bed. That's normal. But if you depend on motivation to move, you'll never go far. Because success doesn't wait for how you feel. It waits for what you do. The truth is, discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's getting up when you're tired, showing up when you're unmotivated, and pushing forward when your mind says stop. Discipline is a promise you make to yourself, and you keep it no matter what. Let's take an example. Imagine two students. The first one studies only when they feel inspired. Some days they're focused, but other days they say, "I'll start tomorrow." The second student studies every day at the same time, even when they're tired or bored. Months later, who do you think succeeds? Not the one with bursts of motivation, but the one with steady discipline. Motivation helps you start. Discipline helps you finish. That's the difference between trying and achieving. Motivation says, "I want to." Discipline says, "I will." Think about athletes. They don't always feel like training. They wake up early, sometimes before sunrise. Their bodies ache. Their minds want rest, but they still do it. Why? Because discipline doesn't ask for permission from your feelings. Discipline moves without emotion. It's commitment over comfort. Discipline means you control your mind instead of letting your mind control you. When your brain says, "I'm tired," discipline answers, "Do it anyway." When your heart says, "It's too hard," discipline replies, "That's exactly why we do it." Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Let's look at an example we all know, brushing your teeth. You don't do it because you're motivated every morning. You do it because it's a routine. It's automatic. That's what discipline looks like in action, turning important actions into habits so strong that you do them without thinking. If you want to build discipline, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Begin with one thing. Maybe waking up 30 minutes earlier, or exercising for 10 minutes a day, or studying for half an hour no matter how you feel. Do it every day, no excuses. Soon, your brain starts to understand that your words mean something. You said you would, and you did. That builds self-respect. Discipline grows through repetition. The more you show up, the easier it becomes. The first few days are hard. Your mind will fight you. It will say, skip today. You deserve a break. That's when you have to remind yourself, success doesn't care about how you feel. Winners do it anyway. Think of someone training to run a marathon. The first mile feels easy. That's motivation. The middle miles hurt. That's where discipline takes over. Motivation starts the race, but discipline crosses the finish line. Here's something powerful. Discipline builds freedom. It sounds strange, but it's true. When you're disciplined, you're not controlled by laziness or emotion anymore. You control yourself. You decide when to act, what to do, and how to move forward. That's real freedom. Not doing whatever you want, but doing what's right even when it's hard. Motivation is emotional, but discipline is logical. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline asks, is it necessary? Motivation depends on mood. Discipline depends on decision. When you rely only on motivation, you live in waves. You feel good one day, low the next. You start things but rarely finish. But when you build discipline, you become steady. You move forward whether you're happy, sad, tired, or bored. That's how strong people live. Let's take an example from real life. Cristiano Ronaldo. People often say he's talented, but talent isn't what made him great. It's discipline. He trains harder than anyone, eats clean every day, and never skips practice. He's not always motivated. He's disciplined. That's why he stays at the top for years while others fade away. Discipline also means keeping your word. When you tell yourself you'll do something, do it. Don't break promises to yourself. Every time you keep your word, you build inner strength. Every time you break it, you lose trust in yourself. So be the kind of person your future can rely on. Building discipline takes patience. You won't feel strong right away. But with time, your habits become your power. You stop needing motivation to start. You just act. It becomes part of who you are. You don't think, should I do this? You simply do it. Think of discipline like building a muscle. The first few workouts hurt, but if you stay consistent, that muscle grows. Soon, what once felt impossible becomes easy. That's how discipline works. It hurts at first, but later it feels natural, automatic. Another example, imagine a writer. They decide to write one page every day. Some days the words flow easily. That's motivation. Other days, the mind is blank. That's where discipline speaks. They still sit down and write, even if it's just a few sentences. After months, that's a book. Not because they were always inspired, but because they showed up. That's the secret of success, showing up no matter what. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to act. Every time you act without waiting for motivation, you're teaching your brain that you are in control. When you replace motivation with discipline, life becomes simpler. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop looking for the perfect mood. You just get it done. Discipline turns dreams into plans, and plans into results. Remember this. Motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going when it gets hard. When you want to quit, when no one's watching, when the progress feels slow, discipline is what whispers, keep going. So how do you build it? Start by creating routines. Set specific times for what matters most: studying, working out, reading, or improving your craft. Follow the routine like it's a promise. Don't wait for the feeling. Follow the schedule. Next, hold yourself accountable. Write down your goals. Tell someone about them. Track your progress. Every small win gives you proof that discipline works. And finally, remember this truth. Discipline is self-respect in action. Every time you keep your word, you're proving that your goals matter more than your comfort. You're telling yourself, I am strong enough to do this. The people who rely on motivation stop when it's hard. The people who rely on discipline rise when it's hard. That's the difference between average and great. So stop chasing motivation. It's a visitor. It comes and goes. But discipline is a home you can live in forever. Build it brick by brick, day by day. Because in the end, motivation will fade. Feelings will change. But discipline will stay. And that, more than anything else, is what will carry you to your goals. Discipline is your best friend when times are tough. It's your silent strength when no one's cheering. It's what turns dreams into reality. So keep it, protect it, grow it. Because when motivation is gone, discipline is what will keep you moving forward. And that's how you win. Not by feeling ready, but by being ready every single day. Chapter 3. Destroy the excuses. Listen carefully. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is not luck, not talent, not opportunity. It's excuses. Excuses are the walls you build with your own hands, brick by brick. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," "I don't have time," or "I'm too tired." These words sound small, but they're powerful enough to kill dreams. The moment you start believing your excuses, you stop believing in yourself. Let's be honest. You've used them before, and so have I. We all have. But the difference between people who win and people who quit is simple. Winners feel the same laziness, the same fear, the same doubt. They just don't listen to it. They hear the voice that says, "I can't," and they respond, "Watch me." That's what destroys excuses. Action, not words. Think about it. How many times have you said, "I don't have time," yet you scroll on your phone for an hour, you watch another episode, you sit and think about what you should do instead of just doing it? The truth is, you don't need more time. You need more focus. Every successful person you admire has the same 24 hours you do. It's not about time. It's about priorities. The ones who win are the ones who stop waiting for perfect conditions and start working with what they have. And then there's the classic excuse, "I'm tired." Yes, you're tired. We all are. But tired doesn't mean stop. Tired means keep going at a slower pace if you have to, but never quit. When you're tired and you still push forward, that's when real growth happens. You don't build strength when everything feels easy. You build strength when your body screams, "Enough," and your mind whispers, "Just one more step." That's how champions are made. Not in comfort, but in struggle. And then comes the deadliest excuse of all. It's too hard. Of course it's hard. That's the point. If it were easy, everyone would have done it already. Hard is what makes it worth it. Every dream, every goal, every great success story starts with something that felt impossible. But impossible only means you haven't done it yet. Don't be scared of hard work. Be scared of regret. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that all the things you thought were too hard were just tests to see how badly you really wanted it. Let me tell you something real. There was once a man who wanted to get in shape. Every morning, his alarm rang at 5 a.m. And every morning, he hit snooze and told himself, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow turned into weeks, then months. One day, he saw a photo of himself and didn't even recognize who he had become. That day, something clicked. He forced himself out of bed. The first run was terrible. His legs burned, his chest hurt, his mind screamed to quit. But he didn't. A month later, the same man ran 5 miles every morning. What changed? Not his body, his mind. He stopped listening to excuses and started listening to his goals. You see, every excuse has a softer truth behind it. When you say, "I don't have time," what you really mean is, "It's not important enough to me yet." When you say, "I'm tired," what you really mean is, "I've lost focus on why I started." When you say, "It's too hard," what you really mean is, "I'm scared I might fail." But here's the good news. Once you face the real truth, you can change it. Because you have the power to choose a different thought, a stronger one. Instead of "I'm tired," try "I'm built for this." Instead of "I don't have time," try "I'll make time." Instead of "It's too hard," say, "I'm getting stronger." That's how you destroy excuses, by replacing them with truth and action. The more you act, the weaker your excuses become. The more you hesitate, the stronger they grow. You feed what you focus on. So stop feeding your doubts and start feeding your goals. Remember this, no one is coming to save you. No one will force you to wake up early, to study, to train, to work harder. That's your job. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. Responsibility is freedom, because when you realize it's all on you, you stop blaming, you stop waiting, and you start doing. If you're listening to this right now, I want you to ask yourself a question. What excuse has been holding you back the most? Be honest. Maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's laziness. Maybe it's comfort. Whatever it is, picture it. And then imagine how your life would look if that excuse didn't exist. Imagine how much further you'd be if you had started instead of waiting. The distance between you and your goal is just one decision: to stop making excuses and start taking action. Let me give you a powerful truth. Every time you win against an excuse, you train your mind for greatness. Every time you do something you didn't feel like doing, you grow stronger. It's like building muscle. Discipline is a muscle, and every rep counts. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Soon, what once felt impossible will feel normal. That's how transformation happens, not overnight, but through daily battles against your own comfort zone. So from today, make a promise to yourself. No more excuses. No more tomorrow. No more waiting for motivation. You will move even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when no one believes in you. Because success doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who act. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. The rest will follow. Remember, every excuse you destroy becomes a victory in your story. Every small act of effort builds momentum, and momentum creates miracles. So the next time your mind says, "I can't," whisper back, "Watch me." Because you can. You always could. You just needed to stop believing your excuses and start believing in yourself. This is your turning point. Right here, right now. No more reasons, no more delays. The world doesn't need your excuses, it needs your effort. So go out there and prove to yourself that you are stronger than your comfort, tougher than your fear, and capable of anything when you stop making excuses and start working for your dream. You see, excuses don't just steal your time, they steal your confidence. Every time you give in to one, you teach your mind that it's okay to quit. You build a habit of stopping whenever things get uncomfortable. But when you push through, when you do the thing you said you couldn't, you build a new identity. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who doesn't give up easily, someone who does hard things no matter how they feel. That's real power. Excuses sound like comfort, but they're actually traps. They keep you safe, but they also keep you small. Think of a bird that's afraid to fly because it's scared of falling. It stays in the nest, safe, comfortable, and stuck. But the only way to fly is to risk the fall. That's how you grow, by stepping out of the nest of excuses and into the sky of effort. Let's look at another common one. I'll start when I feel ready. How many dreams die because of that one sentence? The truth is, you'll never feel ready. You'll always feel scared, unsure, unprepared. But here's the secret. Readiness comes after you start, not before. When you take that first step, when you move through fear instead of waiting for it to disappear, that's when real confidence is born. Maybe you've told yourself, "I don't know where to start." That's another excuse wearing a clever disguise. You don't need the perfect plan, you just need to move. Start small. Start messy. Start scared. Just start. Because action creates clarity. Once you move, you learn, and once you learn, you grow. Waiting for the perfect plan only wastes time. Progress begins the moment you stop planning your life and start living it. And sometimes excuses hide behind pride. You might say, "I don't need help," or "I'll figure out alone." But growth requires humility. No one wins alone. The strongest people are the ones who ask for guidance, who learn from others, who accept correction. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Don't let pride be another excuse that keeps you stuck. Let me remind you of something important. Excuses are lies, and you are the one telling them. Harsh, maybe, but it's the truth that sets you free. Because when you admit that your excuses are just stories you've told yourself to avoid discomfort, you take back your power. You can rewrite the story. You can change the ending. Think of someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He wakes up before sunrise to train every single day. Do you think he never feels tired? Of course he does, but he doesn't listen to that voice. He's learned that success doesn't care how you feel, it cares what you do. He once said, "All success begins with self-discipline." It starts with you. That's the truth. The Rock doesn't have more hours than you. He just uses his hours differently, without excuses. Or look at J.K. Rowling. She wrote Harry Potter while struggling as a single mother, living on welfare, writing in cafes with her baby sleeping beside her. She could have said, "I'm too busy. I'm too tired. Life is too hard." But she didn't. She forced herself to write anyway, and her story changed the world. So what's stopping you? Be honest. Is it really lack of time? Or is it fear of failure? Is it really exhaustion? Or is it lack of purpose? You see, once you face the real reason behind your excuses, you can defeat it. You can replace it with strength. Here's how you start. The next time your mind says, "I don't feel like it," respond, "I'll do it anyway." That simple phrase changes everything. Because you're training your brain to follow action, not emotion. You're teaching yourself that your goals matter more than your feelings. That's how champions think. And when you start living this way, something amazing happens. Your excuses lose their power. They stop controlling you. You begin to see them for what they are, lies dressed as comfort, and you stop believing them. That's the moment you become dangerous, not to others, but to your own limitations. It's not about being perfect. You'll still have lazy days. You'll still hear that voice telling you to quit. But now you'll know what to do. You'll push back. You'll move anyway. And every time you do, you'll build a little more strength, a little more grit, a little more belief in yourself. Remember, excuses will always be there, but so will opportunity. And you can't have both. You must choose. You can choose the comfort of excuses or the freedom of effort. One keeps you dreaming, the other makes you unstoppable. So from this moment forward, every time you feel an excuse rising in your mind, stop and ask yourself one question. Is this helping me or holding me back? If it's holding you back, destroy it. Replace it with action. Turn "I can't" into "I will." Turn "I don't have time" into "I'll make time." Turn "it's too hard" into "I'm getting stronger." Because here's the truth. Life will never give you permission to chase your dream. You have to take it. You have to fight for it. You have to earn it through sweat, through effort, through the daily choice to do the hard thing, even when no one's watching. You are capable of more than you can imagine. The only thing standing in your way is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story, and you'll change your life. Destroy the excuses. Build the discipline. And prove to yourself that you can, because you can. You always could. It's time to show it. Chapter 4. Build habits that force success. Listen closely. Success is not magic. It's not luck. It's not something that happens overnight. Success is the result of small habits repeated every single day, even when you don't feel like it. The people who achieve great things don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, on routines, on habits that push them forward automatically. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. That's why if you want to change your life, you must first change your habits. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every morning and debate whether to brush or not. You just do it automatically. It's a habit. Now imagine if working on your goals, reading, exercising, or studying became just as automatic as brushing your teeth. You wouldn't need motivation. You wouldn't need reminders. You just do it because it's who you are. That's the real power of habits. They make success effortless. The truth is, you already have habits. Everyone does. The question is, are your habits helping you, or are they hurting you? Every small action you repeat daily is shaping your future. Waking up late, scrolling for hours, skipping workouts, saying "I'll do it tomorrow." These are habits too. They might feel harmless today, but they slowly build a version of you that settles for less. On the other hand, small positive habits like reading for 10 minutes, planning your day, doing one hard thing every morning. These tiny steps build a stronger version of you every day. Let's be real. You can't rely on willpower forever. Willpower fades. Habits stay. Willpower is like a battery. It runs out when you use it too much. But habits are like solar power. They recharge themselves because once something becomes automatic, it doesn't drain your energy anymore. You don't think about it. You just do it. That's how winners live. They don't wait for the perfect mood. They build routines that make doing the right thing the easiest option. So, how do you build habits that force success? It starts with small steps. Don't try to change your whole life in one day. That's how people fail. Instead, choose one habit that moves you closer to your goal. Just one. If you want to get fit, start with 10 minutes of exercise a day. If you want to be smarter, read one page every morning. If you want to wake up early, go to bed 15 minutes earlier tonight. Small steps done daily create big results over time. Remember this, small doesn't mean weak. Small means consistent. And consistency beats intensity every single time. Here's an example. There was a man who wanted to run a marathon, but he had never run before. On his first day, he didn't run miles. He just put on his running shoes and walked around the block. The next day, he jogged for 2 minutes, then 5, then 10. A few months later, he ran 26 miles. The secret wasn't that he trained like a pro. It was that he built a system so simple that failure was impossible. He made it a habit, not a struggle. That's how real change happens. Your environment matters, too. It's hard to build good habits in a bad environment. If you're trying to eat healthy, but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're setting yourself up to fail. If you're trying to study, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications, you're sabotaging yourself. Success isn't just about willpower, it's about design. You must design your surroundings to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Put the things that help you in sight and hide the things that hurt you. Want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow. Want to work out more? Lay your clothes out the night before. Want to stop wasting time on your phone? Put it in another room when you study. Don't rely on strength, rely on structure. The best system is one that makes success the default choice. And don't forget, habits grow through repetition, not perfection. You'll miss days. You'll mess up. But that doesn't mean you failed. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to never quit for long. When you fall, get back up. One missed day doesn't ruin your progress. Quitting does. So stop chasing perfect days and start chasing consistency. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're training your brain to see effort as normal. Here's something powerful to remember. Your habits create your identity. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. If you read daily, you become a reader. If you train daily, you become an athlete. If you work on your dream daily, you become a builder of success. Stop saying, I want to be disciplined. Start saying, I am disciplined, because your actions define you, not your intentions. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem unstoppable. They aren't superhuman. They just built habits that force them to win. They've made hard work a routine instead of a choice. They wake up early not because it's easy, but because it's automatic. They don't wait for motivation. Their systems pull them forward. That's the secret. They've made success part of their lifestyle. There's a saying, you don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. It's true. You can dream all you want, but if your daily actions don't match your dreams, you'll never get there. Big dreams are built on small daily actions. You don't climb a mountain in one step. You take one small step, then another, and another, until you reach the top. Success is not about speed. It's about direction and consistency. Let me tell you something important. Habits work both ways. If you don't build good ones, bad ones will build themselves. Every day you repeat a lazy choice, it gets easier to do it again tomorrow. That's how people drift away from their goals without noticing. But the good news is, the same rule works for good habits. Every day you make one positive choice, it gets easier the next day. You're wiring your brain for success. Here's a tip: pair your habits. Link something you need to do with something you already enjoy. For example, if you love music, listen to your favorite playlist only when you're working out. If you enjoy coffee, drink it only when you're reading or studying. That way, your brain starts connecting pleasure with productivity. Soon, you'll crave the work itself. And don't forget to reward yourself. Every time you follow through, no matter how small, celebrate it. Tell yourself, I did it. Your brain needs that recognition. It turns hard effort into something you enjoy. You're not just forcing habits. You're training your brain to love progress. Building habits takes time, but the results are life-changing. In the beginning, it feels slow. You'll wonder if it's even working. But remember, big change happens quietly. Just like a tree grows underground before breaking through the surface, your habits are growing in silence. And one day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Not because of one big decision, but because of thousands of small ones that you kept repeating. So from today, stop waiting for motivation. Build systems that make hard work automatic. Wake up and move even when you don't feel like it. Prepare your environment for success. Be consistent, not perfect. Focus on building the version of yourself that doesn't depend on feelings, but on discipline, structure, and purpose. Because success doesn't come to those who wish for it. It comes to those who build habits that make it impossible to fail. So make your habits your allies. Build them with purpose. Protect them with focus. And soon, you won't need to chase success. Success will start chasing you. Now let's go even deeper. Because building habits isn't just about what you do. It's about who you decide to become. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to be. Each action is like a small brick in the foundation of your identity. And one day, you'll stand on that foundation and realize, this is who I built myself to be. You didn't wake up lucky. You didn't get handed success. You built it one habit at a time. Let's make this clear. Habits don't just shape your schedule. They shape your self-belief. When you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you start trusting yourself more. You start believing that you can actually do what you say you'll do. That's powerful, because most people don't fail from lack of talent. They fail from lack of self-trust. They make promises they never keep. But when you keep showing up, when you stick to your habits, your word becomes solid. You become someone you can rely on. Think about that for a second. Imagine how your life would change if you trusted yourself completely. If you knew that when you said, "I'll wake up early," you actually would. That when you said, "I'll finish this project," you meant it. That's not magic, that's habit. You build trust through action, not through words. And the beautiful thing about habits is that they don't care about how you feel. They don't care if you're tired, busy, or not in the mood. Once they're built, they carry you through the days when motivation disappears. You don't have to fight with yourself anymore. The routine does the work. You just follow the system. That's how you take control of your life. Not through emotion, but through structure. Here's something powerful to remember. Your mind will always take the path of least resistance. If you make good habits easier to do, you'll do them more. If you make bad habits harder to do, you'll do them less. For example, if you want to eat healthier, don't buy junk food. If it's not in the house, you can't eat it. If you want to study more, keep your books open on your desk. If it's in front of you, you'll touch it. If you want to use your phone less, put it far away when you work. It sounds simple, but small changes in your environment can completely change your behavior. Let's take an example. There's a student named Sarah who always struggled with studying. Every time she sat down to read, she'd grab her phone after 5 minutes. One day, she decided to change her environment. She started studying in a library, left her phone in her bag, and set a small rule: I can only check my phone after I finish one chapter. Within 2 weeks, studying stopped feeling like a chore. It became a routine. Her grades improved not because she suddenly got smarter, but because she built a better system. That's what habits do. They make success repeatable. You don't need to depend on willpower when your environment and systems are set up to help you. You don't fight the current anymore. You flow with it. But remember, every new habit starts with friction. The first few days are the hardest. Your mind will resist because it loves comfort and routine, even if that routine isn't good for you. You'll hear that voice saying, "Skip it today," or "You can start tomorrow." That's normal. The key is to ignore that voice long enough for your brain to adjust. Scientists say it takes about 21 to 30 days for a new behavior to start feeling natural. So those first few weeks are a test of your patience and commitment. Push through that period, and soon, what once felt hard will feel normal. And here's another truth. If you want to keep a habit, track it. Write it down. Use a notebook or a simple calendar. Each day you complete your habit, mark an X. Your only goal is to never break the chain. When you see those marks building up, you'll feel proud, and that pride becomes fuel. It's a visual reminder that you're becoming consistent. Even one skip day will stand out, reminding you to get back on track. This small method can transform your discipline. Now, let's talk about something people often ignore: habit stacking. It's when you attach a new habit to one you already have. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, use that time to read one page of a book. If you brush your teeth every night, use that moment to reflect on your day or plan tomorrow. Linking habits makes them stick because your brain already knows when and where the action happens. You're not building something new from zero. you're expanding what already exists. Another secret? Start with 2-minute habits. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Want to start exercising? Just put on your shoes and step outside. Want to start journaling? Write one sentence. The hardest part of any action is starting. Once you start, momentum takes over. Small beginnings often grow into powerful routines. Let me share another story. There was a writer who struggled with procrastination. He set a goal to write 1 page every day. Some days, that 1 page turned into 10. Other days, it was just 1 paragraph. But he never missed a day. A year later, he had finished a book. He said, "The secret wasn't writing a lot. The secret was never skipping the day." That's what habits are. Small wins that add up quietly until one day they explode into success. And the best part? Good habits don't just change your actions. They change your mindset. When you live with structure, your mind becomes clearer. You start feeling in control. You start believing that you can handle anything because you've trained your brain to follow through no matter what. That belief spreads into every part of your life. Your health, your relationships, your work, your dreams. It's not just about success anymore. It's about peace. So if you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself one question. What one habit could change everything for you if you stuck with it? Maybe it's waking up early. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's reading or writing or meditating. Whatever it is, choose it now. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start today. Build a system around it. Remove every distraction that makes it harder. Keep your promise to yourself. Because the truth is, your future is being built in the small things you do today. Every action, every decision, every habit, they're all shaping the person you're becoming. Don't waste your days waiting for motivation. Build routines that don't need it. Your habits are the invisible force guiding your life. If you master them, you master everything. So build habits that push you forward. Protect them fiercely. Stick with them, even on the hard days. And remember, success is not a one-time act. It's what you do over and over until it becomes second nature. When your habits become stronger than your excuses, success becomes inevitable. That's the moment when you stop chasing success, and success starts following you. Chapter 5. The Power of Consistency. Let me tell you something powerful. Consistency beats talent every single time. You don't have to be the smartest, the strongest, or the fastest. You just have to keep showing up every day, again and again, because consistency is what turns average people into masters. It's the bridge between your dreams and your results. Everyone wants success, but very few are ready to do the same boring, simple thing over and over again until it works. Think about it. The gym isn't about one heavy workout. It's about showing up even when your body is tired. Success in school isn't about one night of studying. It's about learning a little every day. The same goes for business, for art, for anything in life. The truth is, consistency is the real magic. When you do something often enough, it becomes who you are. You no longer have to force it. It becomes natural, automatic, and powerful. Let's say you start jogging for 10 minutes every morning. At first, it feels hard. You sweat, you complain, you want to stop. But if you do it again tomorrow and the next day, soon it becomes normal. Then 10 minutes turns into 20, 20 turns into 30. One day, people look at you and say, "How do you do it?" But they don't see that it started with just 10 minutes. That's how consistency builds greatness. Silently, slowly, but surely. Now listen, the hardest part isn't doing it once. The hardest part is doing it again tomorrow when you don't feel like it. That's where most people fail. They say, "I'll start again next week," or "I'll do it when I have time." But time never just appears. You make time by showing up. Consistency means doing it even when you're tired, even when no one claps, even when no one believes in you. Because deep down, you know this, every small action counts. Remember the story of Kobe Bryant? He was known for his crazy work ethic. He would wake up at 4 a.m. to practice while others were sleeping. But what made him great wasn't just his talent. It was his consistency. Every single day, he showed up to get a little better. Over time, that daily effort made him unstoppable. The same is true for anyone who's achieved greatness. They didn't rely on motivation. They relied on habits repeated daily until success had no choice but to come. You see, motivation comes and goes like the wind, but consistency builds momentum. Once you start moving, you create energy. The more consistent you are, the easier it gets to keep going. It's like pushing a car. At first, it's hard, but once it starts rolling, it takes less effort to move. That's how habits work. Every day you stay consistent. You're pushing that car forward. One day you'll look back and realize how far you've gone. But don't expect instant results. That's another mistake people make. They work hard for a week, and when they don't see results, they stop. But real success takes time. Think of a bamboo tree. For years, it grows underground where no one can see. Then one day, it shoots up and grows fast. That's what consistency does. You may not see progress right away, but beneath the surface, your efforts are building something powerful. And you know what's beautiful? Consistency doesn't require perfection. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to keep doing it. Miss a day? That's okay. Get back on track the next day. Progress doesn't mean never falling. It means never quitting. The key is to never let one missed day turn into a missed week. Keep the rhythm alive. Now, let's talk about systems. Successful people don't rely on willpower. They build systems that make consistency easier. If you want to read every day, put your book on your pillow so you see it before bed. If you want to exercise, lay out your clothes the night before. Make the good habits easy to start. Don't leave them a chance. Design your environment so that doing the right thing feels natural. Your surroundings shape your consistency more than motivation ever will. And when you want to quit, because yes, there will be days you'll want to quit, remind yourself of this. You didn't come this far just to stop now. Consistency isn't about feeling good every day. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. That's where character is built. That's where the strong separate from the weak. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb, but he didn't see them as failures. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's consistency. It's doing, failing, learning, and repeating until success shows up. Every failure was another step forward. So here's a truth to keep in your heart. Success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do every single day. You're what you repeat. If you repeat laziness, you become lazy. If you repeat discipline, you become strong. Every action is a vote for the person you want to become. So cast your votes wisely. Be the kind of person who shows up no matter what. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to be better than everyone else. You just need to be better than you were yesterday. One small step every day. That's it. That's how you win. That's how dreams turn into reality. You don't have to rush. You just have to stay consistent. Let today be the day you decide, I won't stop. I'll keep going even when it's hard, even when I don't see results, even when I feel like giving up, because I know something great is being built inside me. Consistency is my weapon, and I'll use it every single day until my life reflects my effort. Keep going. Keep showing up, because one day, everything you've worked for will show up too. Now, let's get even deeper. Consistency is more than just repeating actions. It's about creating trust with yourself. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. You prove that your word matters. The promises you make to yourself are real. Most people break promises to themselves every day without realizing it. They say, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, and their goals slowly fade. But when you stay consistent, you become someone who keeps your word. That is power. That is freedom. Here's the thing, consistency compounds. It's like money in the bank. One day of effort feels small, but repeated day after day, it grows into something unstoppable. Imagine reading just 10 pages every day. At first, it seems like nothing. But after a year, you've read over 3,500 pages. Imagine exercising for 15 minutes daily. In a year, you've built strength, endurance, and confidence. The small, repeated actions are invisible at first, but over time, they explode into results. That's the magic of consistency. Let's talk about setbacks because they will come. You'll get sick, tired, distracted, or discouraged. Life will try to stop you. But consistency isn't about never failing. It's about never quitting. One missed day doesn't erase progress. What matters is what you do next. Show up again. Keep the chain going. Every time you return, you reinforce your habits, you reinforce your strength, and you reinforce your identity. That's how champions are made. Not by perfection, but by resilience in the face of imperfection. Consistency also teaches patience. The world loves instant results, but the truth is that nothing worthwhile happens overnight. A seed doesn't grow into a tree in a day. Your skill, your strength, your knowledge, they grow slowly, quietly, and invisibly. But if you water the seed every day, it will break through the soil. That's what consistency does. It nurtures your goals quietly, steadily, and reliably until one day the results appear, and they appear all at once. And here's a truth many people ignore. Consistency builds confidence. When you know you can trust yourself to show up every day, you stop doubting. You stop asking if you're capable. You start believing in your own power. That belief is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. You don't just act consistently. You start thinking consistently. You start becoming the person who acts, who perseveres, who gets results. That is transformation. Think about professional athletes. Their talent is obvious, but talent alone doesn't win championships. It's the small, repeated actions, the early mornings, the extra reps, the practice drills done without applause that create legends. LeBron James didn't become great because he had a good game once. He became great because he practiced consistently, day after day, year after year. That's the truth. Greatness is earned quietly, consistently, and persistently. And here's something powerful. Consistency creates momentum. The longer you keep showing up, the easier it becomes. The harder days feel lighter. The challenges that once stopped you seem smaller. That's because you've built habits and strength that carry you forward automatically. Momentum is your invisible ally, and consistency is how you create it. Every day you follow through, the easier tomorrow becomes. That's why people who stay consistent never get stuck. Their past effort carries them through the present. Let me give you a practical strategy. Decide on the one thing that matters most to your goal and do it every single day. Don't overcomplicate. Don't wait for motivation. Keep it simple. Keep it repeatable. Track it. Mark it down. Celebrate the streak. Visual proof of your progress is a powerful motivator. It's tangible, and it reminds your brain that you are capable. That momentum will fuel more habits, more effort, and more results. Remember this. Consistency isn't boring. It's life-changing. Showing up when no one is watching is what builds character. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. When you combine consistency with the right habits and a strong mindset, there's almost nothing you cannot achieve. You start small, you repeat, you persist, and slowly, almost invisibly, the impossible becomes possible. So here's the challenge for you. Start today. Pick one habit, one action, one goal. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Keep showing up, no matter how you feel. Even when it's hard. Even when you're tired. Even when no one believes in you. Keep going. That is the power of consistency. That is how success is built. That is how you take control of your life, step by step, day by day. And never forget, every time you show up, even in the smallest way, you're building a version of yourself that can handle anything. Every day you stay consistent, you grow stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable. The path to greatness isn't flashy, it's steady, quiet, and relentless. That is the truth of consistency. That is the truth of success. So start now. Stay consistent. Show up. Repeat. Persist. And watch as your life transforms, not overnight, but through the unstoppable power of your daily actions. Chapter 6. Fail forward. Listen closely. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every person who has ever achieved something great has failed many times. The difference between those who win and those who quit isn't luck or talent. It's how they respond to failure. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of mastery. Every setback, every mistake, Every moment when things don't go as planned is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Let me tell you this. Mistakes are not punishments. They are messages. Every time something goes wrong, there's a lesson hidden inside it. If you look closely, you can find out what didn't work, what needs to change, and what you could do differently next time. People who succeed quickly are not those who never fail. They're those who fail and then adjust. They use failure as fuel. You can do the same. Think about Thomas Edison. He tried thousands of ways to invent the light bulb before it worked. Imagine how many times he could have quit, but he didn't. Each failure taught him something new. Every wrong attempt was another step forward. He didn't see failure as defeat. He saw it as information. That's the mindset you need. Fail, yes, but fail forward. Let every setback guide you closer to success. You see, failure is uncomfortable. It hurts. It can make you feel small, frustrated, and even embarrassed. But the people who rise above failure understand one simple truth. Discomfort is temporary, but the lessons last forever. Every time you feel pain from a mistake, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? That question changes the way you see obstacles. What once felt like an ending now becomes a beginning. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine a basketball player who misses a critical shot in a game. Most people would dwell on it, blame themselves, or feel defeated. But a champion watches the replay, studies what went wrong, adjusts their technique, and practices even harder. That missed shot becomes the reason they succeed next time. The failure pushes them forward instead of holding them back. That's what failing forward means. Using every mistake as a stepping stone, not a stopping point. You might be thinking, but I can't handle failure. That's normal. Nobody likes it. But here's a secret. The more you experience failure, the less fear you have of it. And fear is what stops most people from even trying. When you face failure over and over, you build courage, resilience, and confidence. You stop worrying about what might go wrong and start focusing on what you can learn. Each failure becomes a teacher, and each teacher makes you stronger. Persistence is the key. You will fail, and you'll want to quit. Everyone does. But those who keep going are unstoppable. The difference between stopping and moving forward is simply action. After a setback, stand up, analyze what happened, and try again. Keep moving. Keep learning. Keep improving. That is the essence of failing forward. That is the essence of success. Let me give you another example. A young writer submits her story to multiple publishers. Rejected again and again, she could have given up. But instead, she studied the feedback, revised her work, and kept sending it out. Eventually, she published a book that became a bestseller. She didn't stop at failure. She failed forward. That's what turns setbacks into breakthroughs. That's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Here's something most people forget. Failure is not permanent. Just because something goes wrong today doesn't mean it will go wrong tomorrow. Every failure is a reset button, an opportunity to try something new with better understanding. When you change your perspective, failure becomes a friend instead of an enemy. It shows you where you can improve. It shows you what you are capable of overcoming. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you avoided trying because you feared failing? How many goals have you postponed because you were scared of mistakes? I want you to understand something powerful. That fear is your mind protecting you from discomfort, not guiding you toward success. The only way to grow is to step into that discomfort, make mistakes, and learn from them. That's how mastery is built. Let's talk about the mindset of champions. They don't see failure as shameful. They don't let it define them. They see it as a tool, a way to get better, smarter, stronger. If you can adopt that mindset, you'll become unstoppable. Because no matter what happens, you will always have the power to rise, adjust, and move forward. Your failures will no longer control you. You will control them. Another practical tip: when you fail, don't just move on blindly. Reflect. Write down what went wrong. Ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? Then act. Action turns lessons into progress. Without action, failure is wasted energy. But with action, failure becomes your teacher, your guide, and your motivator. Remember this: every setback contains the seed of a comeback. Every mistake is an opportunity to improve. Every failure is a chapter in your story of success. People who quit never realize this. People who keep going unlock it every single day. They understand that falling down is part of the journey, but staying down is a choice. And let me tell you something even more important. Failing forward builds character. It builds patience, humility, resilience, and grit. It teaches you that success isn't easy. It shows you that what's worth achieving requires effort, trial, and persistence. Every failure you embrace shapes you into someone stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what lies ahead. So here's the challenge for you. Start seeing your mistakes as teachers, not punishments. Start seeing setbacks as stepping stones, not roadblocks. When you fail, fail forward. Learn, adjust, move again. Keep showing up. Keep trying. Keep improving. Every time you do, you grow closer to mastery, closer to your dreams, and closer to the life you deserve. Because the truth is simple. The only real failure is quitting. Everything else, every stumble, every wrong step, every rejected attempt is just practice. Practice for success. Practice for mastery. Practice for greatness. So take a deep breath. Accept that failure will come. Embrace it. Learn from it. And then rise stronger than before. Fail forward and watch as nothing can stop you. Now let's go even deeper. Failing forward isn't just about bouncing back. It's about using failure as a roadmap. Every mistake gives you information. Every setback highlights what isn't working. Most people ignore these clues and repeat the same errors over and over. But if you choose to fail forward, you study the mistake, understand it, and use it to move smarter the next time. Each failure becomes a guide, a mentor, and a stepping stone toward mastery. Think about a child learning to ride a bike. The first time they fall, they scrape their knee. The second time, they wobble and almost crash. The third time, they start pedaling smoother. Eventually, they ride with confidence. Did they fail? Yes. Did they give up? No. Each fall taught them balance, control, and courage. That's exactly how failure works in life. Each setback teaches you what you need to succeed. You might ask, but what if I fail at something important? Here's the truth. The more you fear failure, the less likely you are to succeed. Fear keeps you from taking action, from trying new things, from learning. But once you embrace failure as a tool instead of an enemy, that fear disappears. You start seeing every challenge as an experiment, every risk as a lesson, and every mistake as progress. That mindset is unstoppable. Let me give you an example from sports. Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school team. Imagine if he had given up. The world would have lost one of its greatest athletes. But he used that failure as fuel. He practiced harder, pushed himself further, and eventually became legendary. That's what failing forward is, using rejection and setbacks to ignite determination, not destroy it. Failure also teaches patience. Real growth never happens instantly. Every great achievement is built on countless small failures, repeated attempts, and lessons learned along the way. You may not see results immediately, but each failure is quietly preparing you for success. Think of it like planting seeds. You water, you wait, you nurture. The growth isn't visible at first, but one day, your efforts bloom. That's the power of persistence through failure. And here's a key insight. Failing forward builds confidence. The more challenges you face and overcome, the more you trust yourself. You begin to realize that failure doesn't define you. Your response does. You become resilient. You stop fearing mistakes. You understand that you are capable of handling setbacks and coming out stronger. That confidence is far more valuable than any immediate success. Let's talk about creativity and innovation. Every inventor, every artist, every entrepreneur has failed countless times. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. Walt Disney went bankrupt multiple times before building his empire. Every failure gave them insights, forced them to improve, and pushed them toward their ultimate success. Without failure, there's no growth. Without mistakes, there's no innovation. Failure is not the enemy. complacency is. Now, here's something practical for you. When you fail, write it down. Reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn? What can I do differently next time? Then take action. Knowledge without action is useless. Every lesson from failure becomes powerful only when you apply it. The faster you learn and adapt, the faster you move forward. That's failing forward in practice. And remember, failing forward doesn't mean being reckless. It doesn't mean taking random actions without thinking. It means taking risks with purpose, trying, learning, and improving. It means embracing discomfort, stepping out of your comfort zone, and understanding that growth lies beyond the familiar. Comfort keeps people stagnant. Failure drives people forward. Here's a story to inspire you. A young entrepreneur launched a business that failed in the first year. Investors pulled out and customers left. Many would have quit, but she analyzed every mistake, adjusted her strategy, and started again. The second attempt succeeded beyond her dreams. She failed forward. She didn't let the first failure define her. She let it guide her. And here's the secret many people miss. Every failure carries a hidden opportunity. If you look closely, you can find a way to turn your setbacks into advantages. Maybe the failure shows you a better method. Maybe it reveals a hidden strength. Maybe it teaches you resilience you didn't know you had. Opportunities are often hidden inside obstacles, and failure is the doorway. So here's the challenge for you. Stop fearing mistakes. Stop seeing failure as shame. Start seeing it as growth. Take action. Try. Make mistakes. Reflect. Learn. Adjust. Then try again. Repeat this process relentlessly. Every time you do, you're building a foundation of skill, strength, and resilience that no one can take away from you. Because the truth is simple. Mastery is built on failure. Greatness is built on persistence. Success is built on learning faster than you fail. The people you admire didn't avoid failure. They embraced it. They learned from it. They kept moving forward. And so can you. Fail forward. Learn quickly. Persist relentlessly. And watch as every setback becomes a stepping stone to your unstoppable future. Chapter 7. Mental Toughness Training. Listen carefully. Your body is stronger than you think, but your mind often gives up first. Pain, discomfort, stress, and pressure, these aren't signs that you're weak. They're signals that your mind is being challenged. Mental toughness is not about ignoring them. It's about learning to face them, push through them, and grow stronger because of them. When your mind stays strong, your body follows. That is why every champion, every leader, every successful person trains their mind before their body. The first step in mental toughness is understanding struggle. Life will throw challenges at you, obstacles, failures, criticism, unexpected problems. It's not if, it's when. The difference between those who thrive and those who quit is how they respond. Mental toughness is built by deliberately facing discomfort, not avoiding it. You must learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. When you step into challenges on purpose, your brain becomes stronger. You build resilience, focus, and calm under pressure. One simple technique to train your mind is cold exposure. A cold shower may seem small, even unpleasant, but it teaches control, discipline, and awareness. When the water hits your body and your mind screams to stop, you decide to stay. Every second you endure, you strengthen your mind. You train yourself to remain calm under stress, to stay focused when your instincts tell you to quit. That small daily challenge translates into bigger challenges in life. If you can master discomfort in the shower, you can master discomfort in your work, your goals, and your dreams. Journaling is another powerful tool. Writing your thoughts, fears, and goals on paper clears your mind and strengthens your mental resilience. When you face setbacks, write down what you feel, what you learned, and what you will do next. Journaling is a mirror for your mind. It teaches self-awareness, patience, and reflection. It's like a mental workout. The more consistently you do it, the stronger your mind becomes. People who succeed often do this quietly every day, shaping their thoughts and their responses to life's challenges. Early rising is another secret of mental toughness. Waking up before the world requires discipline and sacrifice. It teaches self-control and focus. When you rise early, you control your day before the distractions and pressures arrive. You train your mind to act instead of react. You build habits of consistency, clarity, and purpose. Many great leaders, athletes, and creators start their day early. Not because it's easy, but because it strengthens their mind, builds discipline, and sets the tone for everything else. Intentional struggle is perhaps the most important technique. This means putting yourself in situations that challenge you physically, mentally, or emotionally. Not for punishment, but for growth. It could be running harder than usual, tackling a difficult project, practicing a skill you're not yet good at, or facing your fears directly. Each time you endure intentional struggle, your mind learns to stay calm, stay focused, and stay strong under pressure. You expand your comfort zone. You learn that you are capable of more than you believed. Let me give you an example. A runner who trains in rain, cold, or heat is stronger mentally than the runner who only trains when it's easy. A student who studies when they are tired or bored develops more focus than the student who only studies when motivated. A business person who faces criticism and rejection and continues to act becomes unstoppable. The principle is the same. The more you expose your mind to controlled challenges, the tougher it becomes. Another key element of mental toughness is control over thoughts. Your mind will try to tell you lies. You're too tired. You can't do this. It's too hard. These thoughts are normal. The strong mind doesn't ignore them. It acknowledges them and decides anyway. Mental toughness is the ability to act despite fear, doubt, or discomfort. Every time you push through negative thoughts and take action, you train your mind to be stronger. You start believing in yourself because you've proven it to yourself. Consistency is crucial. Mental toughness is not built in a day or a week. It grows slowly, steadily, and quietly. Each cold shower, each early morning, each moment of intentional struggle adds strength. Each journal entry, each discipline choice, each time you resist giving up, compounds over time. Mental toughness is invisible at first, but one day you'll notice. You stay calm when others panic. You focus when others get distracted. You act when others hesitate. That is the reward of consistent mental training. Visualization is another powerful technique. Imagine yourself succeeding under pressure. Imagine yourself facing a challenge and remaining calm and focused. This mental rehearsal trains your brain to perform in real situations. Top athletes use this every day. They see the obstacle, see themselves succeeding, and train their mind to respond automatically. Visualization is like mental muscle memory. Your mind practices even before your body acts. Now let's talk about fear. Mental toughness doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means action in spite of it. Every time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. You build confidence. You build resilience. You build courage. And courage compounds. The more you face challenges, the more your mind trusts itself. The more your mind trusts itself, the stronger your body and your actions become. Reflection is also key. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I push through? What did I give in? What did I grow stronger? This awareness sharpens your mental toughness. You identify your weaknesses and celebrate your wins. You learn faster, adapt smarter, and prepare for tomorrow. Without reflection, mental training is wasted effort. With it, every struggle becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Finally, understand that mental toughness is not just for extreme situations. It's for everyday life. Facing deadlines, difficult people, criticism, fatigue, setbacks, these all require mental strength. The more you train your mind in small ways daily, the more prepared you are for the big challenges. The cold shower, the early rise, the journal, the hard workout, they're all practice for life's pressures. Your mind becomes like steel, calm, strong, and unshakable. So here's your challenge. Start today. Take one step, a cold shower, an early rise, a moment of intentional struggle, a journal entry. Do it consistently. Embrace discomfort. Train your mind. Push through fear. Reflect and improve. Every day you do this, you are building mental toughness. Every day you grow stronger. Every day you become the kind of person who doesn't quit when life gets hard. Because the truth is simple. Your body will give up only after your mind does. Train your mind, and your body will follow. Your mind determines your results, your success in your life. Mental toughness is not a skill you are born with. It's a skill you build, step by step, choice by choice, challenge by challenge. And when life tests you, you will not just survive, you will thrive. Chapter 8. The Discipline of Winners. Listen closely. Talent, luck, and even passion are important, but they are not enough. What separates champions from everyone else is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is waking up early when you're tired. It's practicing when others are resting. It's staying focused when distractions pull at you. It's the quiet choice to push yourself every single day. Let me tell you something. Champions are not extraordinary because they have more talent. They are extraordinary because they refuse to quit. Every great athlete, entrepreneur, or leader you admire has faced moments when giving up would have been easier. But they didn't. They forced themselves to take the next step, even when it was hard, even when it was painful. That is the power of discipline. It makes the impossible possible. Think about an Olympic athlete. Before the medals and the glory, there were hours of grueling practice, early mornings, sore muscles, and missed social events. No one saw the sacrifices, the discipline, and the repetition. But that discipline built the body, the skill, and the mental toughness required to win. You may not be training for the Olympics, but the principle is the same. Success is built one disciplined choice at a time. Entrepreneurs show the same pattern. They work long hours when their friends are resting. They take risks when others stay safe. They continue learning when others stop. Discipline is what allows them to act even when fear, uncertainty, or exhaustion try to hold them back. Without discipline, ideas remain dreams. With discipline, they become businesses, innovations, and impact. Discipline also builds self-trust. Every time you do what you promised yourself, no matter how small, you prove that you can rely on yourself. That trust becomes a foundation for bigger goals. The person who can say, "I will show up today and I will do what I promised," gains power over their own life. Without discipline, even the most talented person can lose control. With discipline, even ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Here's an example from the military. Soldiers train in extreme conditions: fatigue, cold, hunger, and fear. They push themselves past pain and exhaustion because discipline teaches them to act regardless of how they feel. That same mindset applies to life. You may not be running drills in the snow, but there will be challenges. Discipline allows you to face them, keep going, and achieve what others call impossible. Discipline is also about consistency. Champions don't rely on bursts of motivation. They rely on repeated, disciplined actions. Every practice session, every task completed, every small effort compounds over time. That's why winners seem unstoppable, because they've built their success brick by brick. Your own victories, no matter how small, come from the same principle. And here's something critical. Discipline strengthens your mind as much as your body. When you force yourself to act despite discomfort, you build mental toughness. You train yourself to handle pressure, stress, and setbacks without losing focus. Every disciplined choice makes your mind sharper, calmer, and more capable. That is why the most disciplined people are often the most resilient. Let me share another story. A famous entrepreneur was rejected hundreds of times before her business succeeded. She could have quit after the first, the 10th, or even the 100th rejection. But she had discipline. She forced herself to continue learning, applying, and trying. That persistence, that disciplined action, led to success. The lessons are clear. Discipline creates momentum, and momentum produces results. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. It is the power to control your life, to shape your future, and to become the person you want to be. Every decision you make, to act instead of hesitate, to push through instead of give up, strengthens your freedom. Without discipline, life is controlled by distractions, emotions, and circumstances. With discipline, you control your actions, and your actions control your destiny. So here's your challenge. Start small, but start today. Choose one area where you need discipline: your work, your health, your habits, your studies, and commit. Make a plan. Follow it. Push yourself every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. Every choice you make to act with discipline strengthens your character, your abilities, and your life. Remember this: champions are not born. They are built through early mornings, hard choices, discomfort, and the relentless practice of discipline. They are ordinary people who made extraordinary choices day after day. You can do the same. You have the power to make disciplined choices, to push past limits, to create success that others will admire. Discipline is the final piece of the puzzle. It ties together everything you've learned in this book: the habits, the consistency, the ability to fail forward, the mental toughness. Without discipline, knowledge is wasted. With discipline, potential becomes reality. So take control. Commit to your actions. Honor your word. Push yourself when it's difficult. Build your life with discipline, and you will achieve what many consider impossible. The path of winners is not easy, but it is clear. It is built with consistent effort, self-control, and the courage to do what others will not. And now, as this chapter closes, remember, the discipline you practice today shapes your tomorrow. Every choice, every effort, every challenge you face with courage and persistence builds the life you deserve. Champions are made by action, not wishful thinking. Be disciplined. Be unstoppable. Be a winner.